This is V-Hawk Talk, all things Viterbo.
Welcome to the first episode of Viterbo University's V-Hawk Talk. I'm your host, Heather Armstrong. Joining me today are first guests, our president, Viterbo University President, Rick Trietley. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank
and
you.
Megan Sobotta, a nursing major and also an athlete, a double athlete at the university. Thanks for being here. So we just want to jump right in, and we want, first of all, we're going to go to you, Megan, because you're going to graduate in a couple of months. You're an athlete, a double athlete. How are you feeling at this moment? Is it excitement or is it nerves?
I would say it's a little bit of both. I'm excited to start a new chapter in my life and start working, but it is a little nerve-wracking because school and athletics have been something that have been a part of my life for so long. It's a little bit scary not having that structure when I graduate.
And tell us about the sports that you're involved in.
So I'm on the dance team, and then I'm also on the track and field team. So I compete almost all year with the dance team, and then I participate in the outdoor season with the track team because that's just how the schedule kind of works out.
All right, and that's good. And I heard President Trietley say to you, well, you have to be able to manage your time when you're doing something like that. So she's getting ready to graduate, and what does it feel like to you? I've seen you out there moving people in. So here she is, full circle. You're there on the first day, moving people in, seeing the families and the students' reaction. What does it feel like to you when you see one of our graduates thriving?
Well, it's very rewarding. I mean, that's what we do, right? Here at Viterbo, Megan came to us as a freshman. We moved her into the residence halls. We've got to see her grow and develop and thrive. And soon she'll be graduating, serving as a nurse, making a big impact on the world, and taking care of people in the La Crosse area and the Cooley region. And we're just so proud of her. But I just think we do this very, very well. She's a great example of a Viterbo student.
Well, let's speak on Viterbo, the unique aspects of it. A lot of people do know that it's associated with servant leadership, but there's so much more. What would you tell us about that makes Viterbo's education so unique?
Yeah, I think it's really three areas. So the first, you touched on it, our focus on mission. And for us, that's a Catholic Franciscan tradition rooted in the Franciscan Sisters of Perpetual Adoration, amazing women, who started this university 136 years ago and have really set us up for great success. We have a powerful mission. Viterbo prepares students for lives of faithful service and ethical leadership. Again, Megan's a great example of that. We have strong values, and all of that is intertwined into the education that we offer here. And then the second piece would be academic excellence. We have very strong academic programs. We offer our students unique opportunities, internships, research opportunities, the ability to work one-on-one with professors in a lot of different settings, clinicals in Megan's case. I'm sure she's been in the hospitals now for over a year working on her craft. So that's a powerful piece of the education. And then the co-curricular. Megan stated she's a two-sport athlete. Many of our students have the opportunity to be athletes here at Viterbo. We also offer service opportunities. We have over 30 clubs and organizations for students to develop leadership skills. So we just offer all of these various opportunities that prepare leadership skills and just a well-rounded education that makes Viterbo students successful in the world.
Well, let's hear it from you. Do you feel that you've had enough opportunity here?
I think for sure I have. One thing that I especially appreciate about Viterbo is how small our classes are. I know most of my professors, essentially on a first name basis, they know who I am. If I see them in the hall, I'll be like, hey, and they care about everyone as an individual because the classes are small. Yeah. So that is something that I think is really special about Viterbo. It's a small, tight-knit community.
And I was going to ask you two different things. First of all, have you developed a sense of community that within the school, and do you plan on sticking around here?
Yes, so I work as a PCA at Mayo right across the street right now, so I'm hoping to just transition to an RN there when I graduate. So I love the La Crosse area in Viterbo, and I'm hoping to stay involved with the community still after I graduate. I'm not quite ready to leave. I've made so many new friends, so.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of support as well, President Trietley, do you feel we are supporting the students I don't want to compare us to other universities, just why are we known for that, providing that support? We heard her talk about teachers knowing all the students and you being able to call a teacher by their first name. So speak to that.
Yeah, I think, students and families today have a lot of choices when they're picking a university, but if a family and a potential student are looking for an environment where they're known by name, where they have the ability to participate in a lot of different things, where the university will meet them where they're at and then help them grow, learn, and develop, this is the kind of school we are. Classes are small. Average class size is less than 20. So I'm not surprised to hear you say the faculty know you by name and know who you are, and you've developed relationships with them. And my guess is that's occurred outside the classroom as well. I mean, even the folks who work in our dining services know our students by name. So it's a really unique environment. It's a small, tight family atmosphere, close-knit community, and many of our students, especially the students who come here from rural Wisconsin, rural Minnesota, seem to thrive here based on our size. So it's a good fit.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about being education prepared. I mean, we're talking about the community. President Trietley, you have so many relationships with businesses in the community. That's important for our students securing internships. So talk about that. Not every school offers such detailed internships.
Yeah, it's a great point, Heather. And we find that our job is to go out, secure these opportunities for students, cultivate the relationships, ask these businesses to invest in our students. So we have examples where some of the local organizations are providing scholarships to students while they're here at Viterbo in the hopes that they may become an employee after they graduate. So that's really powerful. We pay our interns, which is really important because a lot of students have to work in order to continue their education. So if they can do an internship and get paid, then it takes some of the pressure off of having to work outside of the classroom. So those are all positive things made possible by local organizations and businesses.
So Megan, I have to ask you, being on the outside of this, I've heard a lot of people say that when a nursing student or potential graduate comes to their hospital, they can tell the difference if a student has gone to Viterbo. And do you understand what that means? Do you feel you have? Why don't you explain that then to me?
I've just heard it from community members, honestly, like when people are hiring, if you're the exact same on paper as someone else and they know you came from Viterbo as a nursing student, it's just that certain reputation, just the way the curriculum is set up. We start nursing clinicals like as early as sophomore year, so you're just in it for longer than some places. I personally think that we have a more vast clinical experience here. Like I was talking with a couple of the people I had an internship with over the summer, and they said that they mostly get med-surg clinicals, and we have opportunities to go to a lot of different specialties too. So I just think it's very well-rounded, and they prepare us really well for what the real world as a nurse is like.
All right, well, tell us then about your specialty. Obviously, the field is nursing, but there's so many routes that you can go. So which way are you going?
My current interest is in ICU. So I would like to start somewhere. A PCU is like a step-down unit kind of. It's like a cross between just like a regular med-surg unit and then an ICU. So I would love to start there and then eventually move into the ICU. I just love being able to usually only have 2 patients in the ICU, so it's very individualized, specialized care. You get to know your patients super well. And that's the format that I enjoy the most.
All right, so we know your future seems pretty bright and you're excited about it, but we're going to look back a little bit for, this is all for the students. We want to share experiences and get them excited about the experience here. So if you had to give advice to your younger self or someone else coming in, looking back, what would you say to maybe a freshman coming in to get the most out of this education?
Yeah, I would just say have an open mind and try everything once, get involved. Sign up for a club that maybe you think you wouldn't like, and if you don't like it, there's always other options. So I think what you get out of your college experience is really dictated by you and the opportunities that you decide to take. So that's the biggest piece of advice I would give is just get involved and try new things and have an open mind, be open to wherever your path kind of leads you.
What about time management? How did you do so well, obviously, on that? You have any tips for a student that might be listening? or the rest of us who are still struggling to figure that out?
Yeah, so my personal kind of philosophy, I plan ahead, but I live day by day, if that makes sense. So I have my planner, I write everything down. Usually at the beginning of the semester, I'll go in and like put in when all my exams are and stuff like that. So I like to plan ahead and have everything written out, but then I try not to worry about it too far ahead of time. So I have it planned, I have it written down, but then I like take it day by day or week by week. So then I'm not so overwhelmed by how much I have to do.
That's great advice for any of us. President Trietley, so decades of military leadership, not just in the military, leading people, and now you're at a mission-driven university. Are there any similarities, and what do these graduates need to succeed?
Yeah, first of all, I think there's a lot of similarities. In fact, when I was interviewing for higher education positions, I would often get asked that question. Now, you were in the Army. What's that have to do with higher ed? Well, the Army and the military is very similar in many ways, that the population of young adults that we deal with are about the same. Most of the Army had 18 to 25-year-olds, and on a college campus, you have 18 to 25-year-olds. So I had a good feeling for the challenges and the opportunities of that age group, and, had a real passion to watch them grow and kind of take off in their adult lives. When I was in the Army, we had mess halls. Here we have dining halls. We had barracks in the Army. Here we have residence halls, right? We had counseling services. We had health services, just like you do on a campus. We had fitness centers. So there's so many similarities, as you think about a comparison of the two. But I think the military prepared me really well to lead. In many cases, it's a different type of leadership. In the Army, I dealt with life and death. Here, we don't deal with that necessarily, but these are important decisions that our students are making and important decisions that our families are making. So a lot of the leadership challenges are similar. We also have to, balance our budget. We have to make sure we're running a good business model here, just like we had to do in the military. So there's a lot of similarities, but I just really enjoy working with young adults, and especially as I get to this point in my life where I'm nearing the end of my working adult life, it's just really rewarding to see the next generation stepping up and getting ready to replace people like me. And that's exciting.
Beautiful. Well, you've been a student. You also are a father to two who went to school as well. And what do you think people need to succeed in the end, besides the education? Like what is the difference between the student who succeeds and the one who doesn't?
Yeah, I think first of all, we all need a good, strong foundation. Here for us, it's a liberal arts foundation. The beauty of a liberal arts foundation is it prepares you with a lot of what we might call soft skills, but things like leadership skills or time management skills, which you talked about so well, the ability to participate in a conversation, all those things that employers are seeking. I think Viterbo does that extremely well, and I think that's one of the keys to success. Very few of us actually work in what we went to college to study for. Now, obviously, in your case, that'll be different. But for many of us, you might have a certain major and you find yourself in your first job doing something different. But it's because of the liberal arts education that we're able to succeed. And I would also just challenge people to be prepared for opportunities. Never in a million years could I have foreseen that I would be a college president. Wasn't on my radar even 10 years ago. But when that opportunity presented itself, you have to be ready to step into that, because you have to do what your organization needs, or you have to do what the world needs. So I'm a big believer that we prepare ourselves every single day for the unknown, and when the unknown becomes the known, we're ready to succeed.
You're also, I admire this so much. I helped out at a holiday dinner, and the students, them really well, not just their name. And I think that a little bit more than education and all the other things that we talked about, here at Viterbo, we know names face to face. The students say hello, and that's really important. I think that's life-changing when you go out in the world, right? And so do you have anything you want to say to the students listening? Even get a mentor, or at least don't be afraid to ask, or, reach out for some help.
Yeah, that's one of the real advantages of a school like Viterbo, is you can build those personal relationships. You can build strong professional relationships. So it's a very good idea for every one of our students to have a mentor. And Megan talked about relationships with faculty. I'm sure some of them are advising her today on next steps, you know, and what she can expect. And I think that's really important for all students. But that's our advantage, right? We try to get to know our students on a personal level. You know, I still beat myself up every day if I forget a student's name, but we do have 2,000 of them. So I'm working real hard every day to remember them all, right? But that's just an important piece. And that's not something you'll find at a big state university, for example. You know, I think the personal relationships is what defines us.
Absolutely. So Megan, what's on the agenda for today? What does a day in the life look like today?
Well, today I don't have any finals yet. My first one is tomorrow, so I will probably be studying for that, just getting ready. And then randomly I'm going to IHOP with some of my friends later tonight just to take a break and do something fun.
That's good. That's great. Listen, and again, this is all about the students and the experiences here. So do you have any other things that you want to add for someone who might be listening, who might just be like, maybe I should get a little more involved. Maybe I should just embrace this. Because the difference from being a freshman to a senior, it's huge. And you can make your experience as good as you want depending on what you are open to. So do you have anything for someone who's listening that you want to say?
Yeah, I think to add on to getting involved, I really have found my circle here, like the dance team and the track team, the people that I spend the most time with are like my support system here. I'm from Eau Claire, so it's not quite so far as some other students, but it's far enough where you feel a little bit isolated from your family and your home network. So I just think it's really important to find your people. I feel like there's somewhere for everyone to fit in at Viterbo. There's a lot of good clubs and organizations and just like groups. So find your people. And I think that really makes a big difference because having support is, I personally think, one of the most important things to get me through. Like, I think if I didn't have the friends and the study buddies that I have, I would maybe not be sitting here today. So
that's beautiful. Well, I hope it inspires someone who is listening. And thank you for joining us. And we hope you join us for more future episodes of VHawk Talk, where it's everything Viterbo. Thanks for watching.